Yo, it's your boy James acting up yet again. But this time man, this is a special episode.
Special.
East Side episode, you feel me? But you know what I'm saying? I got my boy Mike as a co-host. I'm gonna let him introduce the special guest we got here.
What's going on, y'all? Mike Darty, I'm back. You know, my boy, he acting up. Today, our special guest, man. I don't even know how to start. My brother, he an Over East legend, first off. Let's get that out the way. An Over East legend. A High Park legend. A two-time first All-Pac West. A steals leader in the Greek League. A Defensive Player of the Year. An Intercontinental Champion. Bro's got a belt. Bro, stop playing. Man, he's just a pro's pro, a great human being. Mr. Black Caesar himself, Malcolm Shank Griffin.
Oh man, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate y'all boys, man. Good to see y'all, man. For sure. Know that.
Man.
So usually, you know what I'm saying, I ask motherfuckers like where they from and shit. Mm-hmm. So what part of the city you from, bro?
East side of Chicago. You know, grew up a lot in the 80s in the Tarrytown area, 79th for Colfax, 80th for Colfax. And I spent a lot of my later childhood years more east on 72nd and Coles. You know, in that area, the South Shore area, man. A lot of fun, Rainbow Beach. That's where I met you guys at. And, you know, it's been quite a journey just living overseas and being able to, you know, navigate and still be here today to talk about it.
For sure. Usually I ask the chicken question, which better, Harold's or, you know what I'm saying, Uncle Remus. But I'm gonna ask you the East Side question. Which one better, Jeffrey's Sub or Kennedy's?
Kennedy's, man. Kennedy's, man.
God.
For many reasons, man. Safety reasons. 71st and Jeffrey down there like Pulaski and Madison or something like that.
So I'm gonna change and say Stony Sub.
I'm still going Kennedy's, but Stony Sub don't close. So that was real staple over East. It's on Stony. Depending on where you at in the city, you get there fast. Whether you coming from the Hundreds, get right off on Stony, you be right there. You coming from wherever, like. So yeah, I think biasly I'm gonna say Kennedy's.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kennedy's for sure.
Only thing I can say about Stony Sub, they got the best gym shoes.
Gym shoes
crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's the only one I ever had one from. I think I probably had like 2 gym shoes in my entire life, and they both came from Stony Sub. So I mean, you know, every place got his go-to sandwich that you want. So I mean, you know, it don't really need to be nowhere else you need to go if you need the gym shoe from Stony Sub. For sure.
All right, so we know you grew up over East. What grammar school did you attend over East?
I went to Arnold Morellis Academy on 90th and Exchange. It used to be Philip Sheridan Academy. Okay. My granddad worked there since probably like mid-'80s. He was a athletic director, basketball coach, and all that. So
that's the only reason why you went there. You skipped all the motherfuckers.
I ain't go. And that's crazy. Like all my friends went to Coles or Bradwell or Nino's, you know what I'm saying? But my granddad being a security and basketball coach, you know, at this school, that's why I ended up going there. And I went there with him from kindergarten to 8th grade, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I did all my years there at Arnold Morellis for sure.
We can all agree that Bradwell was a damn penitentiary, even when we was shorties. The motherfuckers the only place I ever hooped that had chain nets, G.
On me.
In the grammar school, bro.
Chain nets in that bitch.
That's a fact. I think that park and I used to go to my cousin's house by Simeon, Westcott. Was the only 2 chain nets I ever seen in my life growing up. Westcott Elementary on 81st and Vincennes and Bradwell. The only course I ever seen with a chain net. And you know, growing up watching, you know, the West Coast movies and stuff, like you always wanted to see a chain net. And like, so it was dope to go play in those parts for sure. For sure.
Okay. Let's see. Let's fast forward. 8th grade. You know, you done been with your grandpa. You know, all them years. The next step you take. What made you decide High Park?
Man, it's crazy. Like I was just telling y'all how I went to grammar school with my granddad, you know, because like that was my granddad. I mean, my uncle had just graduated from there. Leon Smith, who ended up attending King High School, who ended up getting drafted by the Spurs first round, actually played for my granddad too. So like that was my, you know, being young and being around him and his team all the time, like that was my inspiration for going there. Right. But high school, man, I always wanted to go to Whitney Young. Quentin Richardson. Well, let me backtrack. My granddad and my most of my family, they used to work at all the like main event high school basketball games. My granddad used to be one of the securities that was escorting the referees to and from the locker room. Right. Okay. So me just being around him and seeing that and being able to be at those mid-90s city championships when I'm 6 or 7 years old, you know, that's when you start really finding your love for the game and, you know, just starting to like certain players. You know, at that time it was Amari Sawyer, my Leon Smith, I was just telling you about, they got drafted, Cedric Banks, the Bailey brothers at Westinghouse. Right. You know, so I was front and center. There's a lot of people my age that don't really remember those times, you know, seeing those guys. I used to see them live and be able to actually, you know, touch and get autographs and, you know, really put my eyes on these guys. So seeing Quentin Richardson and how dominant he was, like Whitney Young was always a school that I wanted to go to. But as I got older, you know, I didn't realize the qualifications of getting in Whitney Young, try to take a test, like a placement test in 7th grade. And I really wasn't doing, you know. Them enrollment. Yeah, so I wasn't really, you know, up to speed with that. My mom had a second job, so like, you know, as long as I was doing good in school, she wasn't really concerned about trying to get me in those other programs to just, you know, to try to go to Whitney Young or anything like that. We just, you know, took everything day by day. But I honestly think the reason she didn't go hard at that because she really wanted me to come to Hyde Park where she was working at. And she was security and volleyball coach at Hyde Park since I had been probably in like the 2nd grade. So, you know, remember when we used to have a report card pickup, it would be elementary on one day, high school on one day. So like I used to go to my mom's job, you know, sometimes when I was too young to watch myself at home, I would go to her job on our report card pickup day, and the coaches were there, and they, you know, she went to school with a couple of the coaches, you know, just how it is now. Like, we got our homies that's becoming the coaches and the administration people. So, you know, that relationship, they used to always be like, yeah, man, we'll see you in a few years. I'm like, no, y'all won't. Like, I ain't coming to school with my mama. Like I ain't want to go to school with my mom, you know, just for reasons as far as, you know, just, you want to be a kid, you want to, you know, you want to get into mischievous things, whether it's, you know, like something bad, like you're not trying to do the worst things, but you just, you know, you want to be a little sneaky, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like that was my reason for not wanting to go there. But as time got closer to high school, it was like that was like the only option for me. So I ended up attending Hyde Park, and then it was decent. It was good 4 years.
That's what's up, man. I went to Kenwood. You know, we rivals, but you know, wasn't really no rivalry. You know. Kenwood, you know, we lost, but it's cool though. We good.
Kenwood, man. They at those times, man, they was trying to develop a culture and stuff, but now they definitely got one up on us now. Kenwood is a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Get back now. Get back to you now.
For sure.
So let's see. All right. So you're going into your freshman year at Hyde Park. How was the transition from elementary school to high school, where you playing against, you know, people, you know, your age, a little bit older than you? How was the transition to high school for you?
Because I know back then that shit was hard. Because I thought everybody think they raw in basketball from their elementary school shit. Until you get to high school and you see real motherfuckers thinking, oh.
So niggas
oh, damn, all right, shit. I might think about this comedy shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit over with.
Man, with me, the transition, I think it was, I mean, at the time, a lot of, like, we all had our own special, unique thing that we had with our game, but a lot of people wasn't training. So it wasn't like a lot of, like, you got your toughness in your game from just going to try moves out on the basketball court when you out playing 5-on-5 with your homies. We didn't have trainers and stuff, so it wasn't like wasn't too many people that was like just significantly more advanced than the next kid.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? It was just
right.
all about toughness, about who you came up around, just
Speed or
mentality.
just- right,
you know,
yeah.
if you was quicker than somebody,
Right,
or you know
right.
what I'm saying, like more athletic and stuff like that. So coming in, just going to, you know, I didn't play varsity my freshman year. Played on Far South team, so it was different. That a lot of those guys had played AAU and small fry.
yeah.
Some of them had knew each other. Me just being a player that had played for my granddad, like I wasn't aware of any of this stuff. Like the summer basketball when they was together, I was doing the classes in Hyde Park,
Okay.
but later on in the day they were going to have, you know, they summer tournaments. But I was going home. I was going home to go play at Eckesall Park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't know any much about that. I only just knew school basketball, and you know, going in there my freshman year, from a coach to a coach that was his name Carvel Bailey, coached a lot of successful teams. But him being a hard-nosed coach, you know, me coming from playing with my granddad for those years, and you know, like he wasn't like hard-nosed like that. Like he was a hard-nosed as a grandparent, as a teacher, but like when it came to sports, he didn't like make me do anything or you know, pressure me to do anything, or you know, we didn't have no weird relationship because he was trying to push me too hard or nothing like that.
Okay.
So you know, like it wasn't that much of a challenge mentally, you know, when I was in grammar school. But when I got to high school, you know, Coach Bailey was really trying to make us, you know, young men, and you know, he was hard on us, and we needed that, and I definitely needed that, coming from, you know, basically a catered situation to when I was with my granddad. So now it's like, this is how the real world gonna be.
Right.
And you know, like I think that was real vital to the rest of my years at Hyde Park and my career. That first year in high school.
Definitely. I mean, I think that's a very good transition. You know, I think one question that I don't think a lot of people ask. I mean, we've been knowing you for some years now. You know, we didn't seen you hoop at Rainbow. We've been hooping with you at Rainbow. Where did you get the name Shank from? Like, where did that come from?
Well, my granddad, I was the first grandson, so first grandchild, period, in the house. And you know, my granddad used to call me Shanky Boo. You know, like I was, hey, Shanky, he used to be Shanky Boo Boo, Boo Boo, like that. Like, he still to this day with Boo Boo. Like, I'm 35 years old. I walk through the door, hey, what's up, Boo? Like, but he was the only person that ever called me that. So, you know, him, you know, that name just stuck with me. And then I went to school with him from kindergarten, like I told you. So now I'm Lil Shanky. Like, everybody calling me Lil Shanky and stuff like that. So, you know, as time got older, you know, like that scene off Paid in Full, his mama call him Lucky.
Right,
Mom,
right,
I don't want to be called Lucky no more.
I ain't found no student food stamp.
I told my mom, like, Ma, just go ahead and take the Y off. Like, Shanky, it just sound like, I don't know, like I'm small, and I was getting taller. I had probably like a little complex syndrome when I was a kid, because I used to hang around all older people, so I was always the smallest. So man, take that Y off, Ma. Like, I'm gonna just go with Shank. And then many years later, I ended up making it to an acronym, which is like what I live my days by every day. You know, stay humble and non-stop kill. So, I turned it from something that it came from nothing, and I turned it into something. So, that's something that's always gonna stick with me forever.
Definitely, man. I'm still looking for a nickname. I ain't gonna lie. When I play softball, I still be looking for a nickname.
What, they don't call you Goofy no more? They used to say that shit.
I don't even know how I deal with buddy. All right, but let's transition. Your sophomore year at Hyde Park. How was that transition? You know, from freshman year, you know, you getting your feet wet. You know, you playing up, you playing Far South. How was it? You know, your sophomore year. Like, how did your game develop?
Well, my sophomore year, it was I can remember that vividly just because it was my first year being on varsity. Y'all know our good friend Fredo. He was my teammate on that year. He was a senior that year. I was one of the only, it was probably maybe 13, 14 players, and 10 of them were seniors. So me being one of the underclassmen guys, you know, I just wanted to go in and do my part and, not mess up their senior year and, gain some trust from them just because, I was the young buck. Me and Varel was the only sophomores on varsity at that time, and he was in trouble a lot. So I was typically the only sophomore on the team. But that year was dope, man. I had a summer job at the school that year, and it wasn't really much work to do. So, on our times when we would have our breaks and our spare time, my coach, who's the coach at Lindblom now, Narvell Newsom, he would get me in the gym for the spare time that I had off of work, to work on my game. I improved my three-point shooting that year, and I was like the leading scorer on the varsity team as a sophomore. So that summer definitely helped me, add something to my work ethic because I really didn't have any at that point. Like I said, we got all our game from watching games or watching, playing a video game or watching games. Say, oh, we're going to try that move.
Right.
We go to the court tomorrow, I'm going to try that move. So it wasn't like, like the kids got now where you got cones and stations on the floor. Like we didn't, that's not our culture, when we were younger. So, it's just like him being able to just get me in the gym and, make these shots at each spot. And, it just built confidence, me doing that every day. And that was the introduction that I got to really starting to try to work hard. Because you got to learn how to work hard. Everybody just don't know how to do that.
Was Fredo in the gym with you?
Nah, Fredo was being a kid, man. Fredo was out at the he was at the Rainbow. He was, doing his thing. And I had a summer job, so I had to be at Hyde Park. Right. So, I probably, honestly, man, the way my work ethic was at that time, I probably wouldn't have been in there if I didn't have to work neither, like, just to be honest. So
we tried to beat this nigga every time.
Yeah, he had a burner.
What? Burner is not a... Man, we had these niggas every time.
Me, him and Lil K.
If he had the tools to actually show me like how to have my mechanics and everything, like I probably would have been a way better shooter longer than I was, because that was my guy I was with all the time, and he shot the leather off the ball. Man. So, but that sophomore year, man, taught me a little bit of work ethic for sure. I started seeing the results, actually pay off. I went to my first coach I was telling y'all about my freshman year. He took the guys that wanted to go. We went to a team camp at Western Michigan, like the summer going into my sophomore year. Okay. And I ended up getting my first offer to school at that camp from Western Michigan, the team camp we went to, which I actually I guess we're gonna get to it later. I ended up playing in that conference when I actually went to college. But yeah, like sophomore, man, it just started getting up for me. I started noticing, the results working and the work paying off. It was actually Fredo that came to tell me maybe like a week after our season ended that they had ranked me like in the state. That's what just told me.
That's the nigga that put me on rankings.
Yeah, man, Chicago hoops and stuff. We used to be in the message boards trying to get ourselves known, and then I had actually did the work to, get my ranking on that. So that was dope, man. I remember all that stuff. It was definitely some fun times. For sure.
Who was like your first opponent in high school that you like, damn? You like, damn, this motherfucker decent too.
Oh, Jay.
Freshman year, I could say a couple names. I mean, I didn't play against them, but like I used to want to be on the freshman team because Jeremy Jones from Simeon used to be cooking our freshman team. And me, like, I was up until my junior year, I was always the guy hanging with the team that was younger because that was my age group. The freshman my freshman year, I was on the sophomore team, but on Saturdays, I would get on the bus with them just to go watch them play because these are all my guys. I wasn't on the team, but I used to go with them. You know what I'm saying? Like just so I could watch the games. And Jeremy, I used to be like, damn, like I'll probably match up good with him. Like I wish I could play with y'all right now. Jeremy, Derek Hill was tough that first year. He went to John Hope. Oh, me, bro. He was tough. Period. But like I used to just always wish, especially my first 2 years, I used to wish I was playing with them so I can match up against him because he used to kill us. But like on far soft, me playing like my freshman year, it wasn't really too many people that was like, talent. Like I said, talent wise, just way better. Like might be more of a physical specimen. Like R.I.P.'s Zay Johnson. He went to Bogan. He just passed this summer, but he was more of a like he had like a more of a teenage body while we was coming in there with 8th grade bodies. So people like that really stood out. People that was bigger and stronger and stuff like that. But the skill levels wasn't really too much. Just out of reach. Like we all pretty much was killers. It was just about what else you had to. You know what I'm saying? So I could say those guys for sure.
Okay. All right. So we know Shank was actually yeah, Shank this, Shank that on. Shank.
Right.
I remember being at Kenwood and like, yeah, shit, it's this thing your senior year. Hey man, so you know we finna play Hyde Park. You got Shank, huh? Who is Shank?
That's what I'm saying. Right.
I see bro coming to jump on. You talking about bro from Rainbow? Shelby.
Right.
Oh damn, he killing that.
Right.
So you didn't got your you didn't got your rank up. You didn't got on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to that, did you ever want the Derrick Rose matchup?
I don't think I was ready for that matchup at that point in my career. I was probably still a little like honestly like I would have competed, but it was like kind of the factor like when players first on the scene got on the court with Mike. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna compete, but it's still of a idolization. Even though we peers, he 3 years older than me. Yeah. It was like the hoopla that was around him. Like it was before social media.
Man.
Like if you weren't a kid in today's world, you really wouldn't understand.
You would not.
How it was with with D Rose and stuff. Yeah, but I mean, I knew they was a better team than us. So I mean, I didn't want that matchup because I knew we would get embarrassed. But like as far as like playing, I would have always been able, been up for that challenge to play against him. But I mean, as a team, I knew we really pretty much wouldn't have probably had a chance in those years that I was playing, that he was on the team. And I mean, that's another person. Him. Like I was giving you my peers as far as the guys that you was talking about me, coming to that next level, the people that was, good. Like it was other guys, of course, like Sharon Collins was a senior my freshman year. Patrick Beverly was a senior my freshman year. Mario Little was in our conference. He was a senior my freshman year. So like definitely want to backtrack about that. Like those are some of the guys that I looked up to their games, me coming in as a freshman. And looking forward to that time I would be on varsity, getting that same type of shine that they was getting. So yeah, those definitely some names that stick out for sure.
So how it felt to make the All-Star game?
Man, it was dope. I mean, cause that senior year I had a lot of vengeance, me playing with the Fire that summer before, and kind of getting shaded, kind of getting slighted for the guys that was ranked higher. Or had relationships with the coaches. Mm-hmm. Me just being a guy from a school that was nowhere around any of these guys' school. Right. I was kind of put on the team through he's like the, you could say he's like my son's godfather now. Like we got real tight when I was in high school, and the coaches were his friends, so he kind of put me on. And like I said, like the work, like. The fact that I had a notoriety like that, like I had to work 3 times harder than those guys. You know what I'm saying? Because everything was kind of, a lot of those guys were just giftedly talented, but they had, they played AAU when they was younger. They had the developments that I didn't have. Right. But I still had the grit and the toughness, so I could always compete with them. But, politics is, politics as usual. Like, right. I don't think nobody thought that I would be like, if we had 13 players, I was probably like, and the last 3 coming off the bench, and it was like, I really didn't understand that, but it was just being egotistical, you being young, not really knowing how it go. You just want to play, and you feel like you're better than those guys. So that senior year, like, and eventually making it to that All-Star game, like it was special for me because it was a couple of guys that was in that game that was on those AAU teams with me that and I ended up getting MVP. So. It was definitely something to brag about, from that point going on forward. We still I still talk stuff about that when we get into little debates and stuff like that. So it's fun to always have those memories and
that's the first game I ever seen on Comcast Sportsnet.
Yeah, man. We used to have all the games on there, man. It used to be so dope. I can't find none of them now. I tried to find some just to get some vintage footage about those games that we had, but it's pretty tough. And I know I just got to reach out to some people that's gonna really put me in the.
At one point, I had that shit saved on my TV, but
TVs
that advanced and some more shit.
Advanced, they ain't on demand no more. You had to go to on demand and watch those games from weeks ago. Like it used to be dope. So that was a fun game, man. It was dope. It was dope for sure. There was a couple NBA players in that game.
So watching the game, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? What made you like turn it on in the second half though? That shit was decent.
It was, like I said, like even in that All-Star game, it was like, I think I'm gonna say 12 people a team, and I was like 9th or 10th to come off the bench. So it was like, hey man, I only got so much time. Like I'm not passing this ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm finna get out here and do my thing. Like in this time, it's an All-Star game. So it ain't gonna be too coached too hard. They gonna let us hoop. So I just gotta make the shots I take. And they gonna keep giving me the ball. And I end up shooting probably I think I probably missed like 2 shots that game.
Yeah, he was killing.
And I had like 28. So it was dope. Like it was just just finally being out there playing free with a lot of these guys that you would imagine to play, with during the season just because it make your job a little easier.
Facts.
I had players like Darius Smith on my team, ended up going to UConn. Rob Covington, who was an NBA player, was on the other team. John Taylor, Jonathan Mills, who were our rivals. We played them in the city championship. Zeke Upshaw, RIP, was a outstanding player in high school, ended up playing the G League. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of good talent in that game. So I just wanted to show my stuff because I hadn't signed to college yet neither. So it was like, another opportunity for, colleges to, take one last look at me before it got time to sign. So that's why I was going hard for sure.
That's what's up. I think that's a great way to get back to 09. 09, that's your year, right? Yeah. 09. Mm-hmm. How was that feeling? Like, I'm the man. Like, this is my team. Y'all, it's a collective of guys, but knowing like, this is my team. This is my year. Right. How was that 09 start? Like, how did you feel like going into the season you guys were going to do?
Man, well, it was crazy because I told you that summer is when I was getting slighted for real, that I felt like on the AAU circuit. So, us coming off of our junior season was ended by NBA veteran Iman Shumpert. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He gave us the business our junior year. So, that left a sour taste in our mouth. That was to go down, I think that was like the regional or sectional to go down state. So, that put a sour.
He was a killer? Iman was going crazy?
It's crazy, man. It was crazy. Like, he had a real big summer of 07. He was class of 08. So that summer, leading into his senior year, like he literally went from unknown to like number one in the state. Like it was crazy. Like he went from unknown to number one in the state. And we had a security guard that had a good basketball background. And he used to always, pick my brain and, because he knew I was the guy on the team. Like, yeah, man, you see this guy, Iman Shumpert, man, he just went number one, man. He played for full package AAU team. I'm like, full package? Like, they ain't even that tough, but, all right, whatever. Right. He like, man, we probably gonna see him. I'm like, bro, he go to Oak Park Road Forest. I'm never gonna see this guy. Like, I'm never gonna see him. Man, fast forward, man, we had them in the regional, I think it was the regional final at Oak Park. They hosted the regional final. Man, like, you talking about physical ability and just, size and grit. And he was like really trying to feed his family off this game. Like, that's how he was playing that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to go to the league. And it was like the fact that he was under the radar. Like, yeah, you knew about him, but you didn't really see. Like, you used to hear about a lot of people, but unless you really was there live, Facts. YouTube videos look like playing on a game board. You could barely see what you was watching. So you couldn't even really see, in that time unless you was at those games. And him being the guy that was unknown, man, he ran off on us. So I think leaving that year, going into our senior year, like that left a bad taste in our mouth, knowing that this was our last year. Fabian had just came off his appendix had burst my junior year, so he didn't play with us until state playoffs that year. So we knew he was coming back, and he was coming with us to be a junior the next year. All of our guys that was juniors, we were going to be seniors now. We had like a strong senior team, like I told you, the team I had my sophomore year. Yeah. So all of us had our own goals, and at the same time, we wanted to win as a team. And it's crazy. I complained about the Fire, kind of sliding me that summer, but if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have played with my team that summer and all the summer leagues and the camps and stuff, which us winning all those tournaments got us preseason ranked, which gave us that confidence walking into that season. Like, oh, y'all, we really them. Like, we really could go do something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we really could go win city and state if we, just keep putting these building blocks together that we've been putting together all summer. And, like, that really gave us that confidence going into our senior year. And, man, we had a great year. And it was just, I think it was really off the mindset of the summer starting the tone with us, winning a lot of games that summer and just building our chemistry and playing together.
Talk about that the state game.
Which one?
Lawndale.
City.
That was
City. That's what I meant. City. My bad.
Yeah, we had played North Lawndale.
You played them before, right?
Yeah, we had played them in the Christmas tournament. About December that year. It was either late December or early January. It was a Christmas tournament. We played them at DePaul. We lost to them by like 11. That game was kind of like a blur because it was for the Christmas tournament. We had just won the Christmas tournament, so we wasn't really stunned like that. But of course, we did want that win. And then seeing that we had matched up again with them for the city championship, we were excited for that because we knew that we wanted revenge. I think I remember playing James Brown, big payback that whole day. Like, I was motivated for that game. I had a couple of those guys were on the Mac Urban Fire too, so it was a lot of stakes in that game for me personally. It being the city championship on the UIC floor, the same floor I watched Quentin Richardson get his title on, same floor I seen Leon Smith and Cedric Bailey, Said Banks and David Bailey and Martell Bailey. I seen them get they city championship plaque on this same floor. So, it hit a little different for me to be at that moment at that time. Everything just coming full circle. My granddad was still the security escorting the referees. So it was real full circle moment. So, really wanted that game bad. And we came out real aggressive. To what I remember. We went up probably like 9 on them in the first half. And they end up started going like face guarding me. I had a tough game that game because all they smaller guards were face guarding me and like kind of playing me in a box of one. So like Fabian and Aki and other guys, they were able to really succeed that game. And the second half, man, we just came out playing not to lose instead of keep steady playing to win. And a couple turnovers here, couple missed rebounds here. Jonathan Mills was probably the best rebounding. You could probably put him. I haven't seen everybody, but in my era, for sure, he was the best. You could probably put him in the all-time if you had, CPS really had stats that tracking Mark down. He probably was one of the all-time rebounders. So, a couple of those plays here and there, with you only having a 9-point lead to a good team on the west side, where there's a lot of their fans too. It kind of helped, and we ended up losing that game in overtime by 3. It was something I didn't get over that till like I was probably like in my 3rd year pro, honestly. Like, man. Just I legit had like, little episodes of like, I don't want to say nightmares because it's only a basketball game, but we lost that game and I had a couple nightmares after that. About them I had them real detailed flashbacks.
Man, we still got flashbacks to Fredo, so I imagine you got flashbacks to your shit.
Yeah, man, that was definitely something that we had wanted real bad, and came up short. But like I said, it didn't really conclude that year. We still had some good memories after that in the state playoffs, and but definitely something to remember for sure.
Good shit.
Yeah, man. You want our brothers, man. So, we had to do our homework.
For sure.
Jay, what you?
So motherfuckers told us. Now you got to verify,
You got to. We need to know.
that, you know what I'm saying, after your senior year, you feel me? You know what I'm saying, you was, look, you a whole lot of colleges that called you.
Yeah, for sure.
We heard that D-Rose's brother and Coach Cal called you
Okay.
to recruit you to go to Kentucky before they got motherfucking,
That's crazy. Y'all got this story because I ain't never told this story.
right, before they got John Wall.
Yeah, that is true. To backtrack on that moment, when I was, trying to find a consistent home for AAU, that summer in the Fire was, playing me to the left. Reggie Rose, Derrick Rose's oldest brother, had started his own AAU team. Well, they had that AAU team with Derrick Rose on there. It was called Mean Streets Express.
Right.
So now with D Rose in the league, they call it D Rose Express. Like this was his first year with his own AAU team. He just got the Adidas deal and everything.
Right.
And his brother wanted me to play for him, but my coach, he wasn't fond of AAU, and especially like once he saw that it wasn't working with the Fire, he was like, "Nah, you gonna come play with us. You're not gonna go to another team." So it was like, all right, cool. So me and Reggie, builded a bond, kind of a small bond relationship just through talking on the phone.
Right.
Him wanting me to get to play, and I'm like, man, you got to tell DK, he not gonna let me play. And him just being in the mix of handling all his brother negotiations at the time. Like, we didn't really stick to the plan, and like, he didn't really like overly impose his will to my coach to get me to play. But like I said, we did a lot of good that year with my team, so I didn't really bug him about playing either. I wasn't really caring about AAU after seeing how I got played by the Fire. Right. So, just through that.
You rocking with your coach regardless.
Yeah, just through that contact, him and my coach having a prior relationship, him just knowing I'm, was one of the top guys in the class that he could actually get to and try to help change his program. Even though I couldn't play for him, he still looked out for me. You know what I'm saying? He still was somebody I could always call.
That's what's up.
And it was actually Snully, our friend Snully. He ended up going with me on my visit to Toledo. But before I went to Toledo, you only get one person to take with you on your visit. So I didn't want my mom to go with me. I wanted my homie to go with me. So my mom,
he got game visit.
yeah. So my mom and my granddad did their own tour at the school a few weeks before my official visit.
Okay.
So they drove. It's only like 3.5 hours on I-80. Go right to Toledo in Ohio. Her and my granddad went to go meet the coaches, see the campus, meet the trainers and everything. And it's just so crazy. When she was gone that day, Reggie called me like, man, what you doing? Like, what you doing tonight? And I'm like, I ain't doing nothing tonight. I'm chilling. I'm just chilling. Like, man, they hadn't signed, I think they hadn't signed Bledsoe yet. Ooh. It was either Bledsoe or it was probably one of those other guards. I know Wall had already committed. Okay. And, they had a real deep freshman class, and he was like, yeah, man, Cal coming in town. He want to see a guard work out for him. And I'm like, my mom just went down to Toledo. So I'm still in my mind, like, I haven't signed no papers. So when my mom got back, I'm like, yo, Mom, like, I got something to talk about. Like, she like, what you talking about? And when I start bringing up school, she was like, boy, I just took a 4-hour ride there and back. Like,
she hit you with the mom shit.
You already told them verbally that you was going. I imagine I understood as I got older. Like, she was a single mom trying to raise it. A young man in a very volatile neighborhood. So she was just trying to do as best as she could. Yes. So, she was trying to teach me, be man of my word, right. But not knowing, like, people decommit from schools all the time.
Every day.
Like, it's not going to be, the end of the world if I say I was going to go there and I changed my mind. But she wasn't really hearing that. And the fact that she had just spent her whole day driving and touring that school, like, she wasn't really even trying to hear it. So I had to tell Reggie, I couldn't take the opportunity. Ain't no telling that if it would have worked out, if he would have liked me. Like I said, my work ethic at that time wasn't the best, but I had the talent. So,
Right.
it ain't no telling what Cal would have liked or what he wouldn't have. But that opportunity always sticks in the back of my mind. Like it's probably one of the biggest what ifs in my life. So, yeah, that's definitely true. I don't know where y'all got that from, but y'all definitely did some homework for sure. Most definitely.
For sure. Man. So talk about your time at Toledo.
Man, that time was rough. Finally being at a school away from my granddad or my mom while they had that supervision, it was bittersweet. Bitter because, the conscience of knowing them, I had them around, made me stay on top of my game in the classroom and, just always be responsible. But now that I, basically on my own, don't have to get woke up for class no more. Like, if you hear anything about me, it didn't already happen a month ago. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not there. Like when you was there, like my teachers could come right to you the same day I did something or I didn't turn in something. Like, oh yeah, get on Malcolm because he's kind of slipping in my class. So that type of stuff kept me on my P's and Q's. Right. Now that I didn't have them with me no more, and it was just freelance. It was just like it was too much for me to have at that time. And I abused it in a lot of ways, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, my work ethic still wasn't up to par. I was still playing off pure talent. Sure. My coach was trying to, my coach at the time was trying to put it through my head, trying to teach me to work hard, but it really didn't register because, I was like, man, I'm doing what I'm doing. I got here off what I've been doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? But, new levels require new types of work ethic and new types of focus, and I just hadn't picked it up at that time, so I made it real hard for myself my freshman year. In my sophomore year, we didn't have, we had a new coach. We had a lot of walk-ons on our team. We had a couple walk-ons that actually started. One walk-on right now, he's still my good friend. He's an assistant coach at Cleveland State University. Okay. That's what's up. Jihad Shunar. He was one of our starters, bro. He used to get 20s and stuff. This is a walk-on. Damn. So, it goes to show you, my sophomore year, our team was very mediocre, very below average. But, it was the year that I improved my shooting again, just how I did from my freshman to my sophomore year in high school. I was forced to be locked in the locker room, in the gym room that summer, getting my shot together. And, mind you, I'm still telling you this, it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting up, I'm about to go get this work in. It was like, damn, I gotta go shoot. Damn, I gotta. It was that mentality still. It was, it was still a little hard for me to, to adapt. And I ended up transferring after that, after my sophomore year, just to want better. And at the time, I used to, at the time, just being young, naive, 19. So I was trying to play.
Snully was down there with you, right?
Yeah, my freshman year, it was crazy. That made the freshman year real, a little easier. Having my guy from the crib, my everyday homie, actually be, and not just go to the school. He was a manager on the team. So I remember he had her applied. They denied him. He replied again. They accepted him. And I'm like, get out of here. No way you come with me. He went on a visit with me. We enrolled the first day together. It's meant to be, man. He had another dorm, but we slept in each other. He slept in my dorm almost every night. We had more room. They had co-ed showers and stuff like that. So
he coming back to the hood, talking about he averaging 10 points a game.
Yeah, that's crazy because it was no way. And to a certain extent, it was some ways he could probably finesse saying that. You know what I'm saying? Where it was people couldn't really check.
Right, he taking pictures with the jerseys.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's what I'm saying. He with the team. He's on the bus. He on the road with us. So he was definitely taking all the benefits with that for sure.
Shout out to bro.
Yeah, that was fun. Having him that would be my freshman year. He ended up leaving my sophomore year, which kind of made the year a little more, it was kind of still a new adjustment for me because now I don't have my homie no more, and now I'm meeting new teammates, and I had 3 new teammates, but one of them was Delino, he was my teammate. I played AAU with him on the Illinois Warriors my sophomore year.
That's what's up.
And he was one of my teammates. That sophomore year it was just a lot of growing pains. I had started to indulge in other activities that I had did for the first time. Just really growing up my sophomore year, just getting the bumps and bruises and just starting to learn about life that year. And like I said, it made the year a little tougher for me, but builded a little character for me. And I ended up getting my pink slip that summer though to transfer.
Okay. So with that transition year for you, how was it? Like what were some things that you learned about yourself? That you learned did you learn who Malcolm was in that time?
At that time I still wasn't learning too much about myself. I was just kind of feeling sorry for myself. Not understanding what I had been doing wasn't working anymore. True. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't really have a lot of people around to identify that problem. It was just a lot of, and I wouldn't say it was just a lot of yes men around. It was just a lot of people trying to be proud and happy for me. So what I'm saying? I did get some tips that were beneficial, but some tips that I wish I would have gotten, what I'm saying, I didn't receive. So, I just had to end up learning it through my own, through life, through trials and tribulations. But it was definitely an adjustment. Just finding out, like I said, I had started smoking weed that summer. I mean, that school year, I was just getting, everything felt like it was just too much for me. Right. And, that's when I had started smoking when I was in college. And, my characteristics was just changing. But I was growing up. I was maturing. I had to go through these growing pains. And, it didn't make me do anything detrimental to my life. But it definitely was something that I ran to at that tough time, for sure. And, just hanging with crowds you would never really see me with. And, being out late and, I had moved with my grandparents and I came back home after I transferred. So I was like, man, everybody at my crib 3, 4 in the morning, we 19, 20, we don't know what direction we going in, you know what I'm saying? So it was just it was a lot of stuff that could have happened and went wrong at that time, but God forbid,
That's when you put me on 2 liter pops at that time. You're like, why you getting a bottle when you got a 99-cent 2 liter? Oh damn, you right, G.
I always try to be reasonable, man. Since I was a kid, I always try to be reasonable, man. Try to make it make sense for sure.
For sure. So that's when you transitioning after going to Toledo, then you went to Fresno, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I spent the whole year home, at home after I left Toledo. Another story that I'm gonna tell y'all about that a lot of people don't know. And one of the guys, actually 2 of the guys, are not here with us no more. Jonathan Mills and Michael Haynes. Mike Haynes was a star at Washington, George Washington High School over east, and North Lawndale had Jonathan Mills, who's also a good friend and AAU teammate of mine. But my sophomore year, man, Darius Smith wasn't having a good time at UConn. Michael Haynes was leaving Indian Hills to find out which college he was gonna go to. If you finish your 2 junior year colleges, your 2 years at junior college, you go Division I. And Jonathan Mills was in the same boat, and we were all the same class. And man, it was a lot of speculation between us, and the coach Tracy Dildy at the time, he wanted to try to get all of us to come to Chicago State. And I remember us having one, this when Skype was really popular. I remember us having a Skype conversation, at the beginning of the year, thinking about the possibilities of it. But Darius ended up winning the national championship with Fabian at junior college in Southern Idaho. Mike Haynes' stock went up crazy. He had offers from Duke and stuff like that. So, that wiped us off the table. And then Jonathan Mills, the same scenario. He was killing. He was killing at Eastern Utah. He was getting real good looks. He ended up going to Southern Missouri, who ended up actually being really good the next 2 years.
Wow.
So, you know, it all broke apart, but that was something that was also, you know, a little hidden story about the 09 class that people don't really know about. But yeah, so with that being said, I was the only one still the one looking forward to go to Chicago State. And at that time, Chicago State accreditation was really bad. They wasn't accepting credits from other schools and stuff like that. So program I was in, they didn't accept. I would have had to sit 2 years to go back to Division I. So with that being said, you know, it was a prideful thing for us to be Division I players, and then when you go back to school, you go lower than lower than what you was. You know, that was kind of degrading to us. So, like, it was other schools that I could have went to, but I was like, I want to go back D1. I want to go back D1.
Facts.
And then when I understood that I had put myself in too much of a deep hole when I left Toledo, and the only thing I could do was go to NAIA or Division II, then it was like, all right, you know, that's when the opportunity to go to Fresno came around. And they were NAIA school that were going Division II that year. Right. So, you know, for my own ego and personal reasons, I was like, all right, this is cool. I can do this. Like, and then I ended up going to Fresno Pacific out in Cali.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I was living, what's the word, vicariously? It's something like that. I know y'all know. But living through you, watching you take off. I remember, you know, we was riding with you a couple times. I remember you telling us like, yeah, bro, you know, I might be going to Fresno. Like, watching you play out there in Fresno was like, it was kind of like a surreal story, because it's like, man, we seen you, you know, you down for that year. Yeah. You know, you're not knowing what's next, and to see you go, go across country, partner with John Taylor, and y'all take flight. Like, how was that feeling going into Fresno, and you know, just killing the league as soon as y'all get there? Like, how was that?
It was different. I only went to Toledo because I didn't want to go too far away from home. Right. So this was different in that case, being alone, just being, you know, thousands of miles away from home, being across the country, like you said. That in itself was different for me. But Darren Johnson, class of 09, went to Leo. He actually came with me first. Okay. He actually came with me on a visit, and we ended up signing together, did summer school together. He didn't really like it. He didn't really like it over the summer, so he ended up backing out. And that's the reason we got John, which was really dope. John was the #1 junior college player in the nation that year. They won a national championship at Mott. And it was no way, like, it was not even a thought that we would be able to get him. You know, us being a Division II school with him doing all these remarkable things that he did at Mott. But, you know, that was around the time with the clearinghouse, and, you know, it was something else around that Prop 48 and all this stuff, all these different obstacles that you had to get through when it came to your grades and stuff. And he ended up having to go to Division II, and we had a coach that was from Chicago that actually had got me there. He was Fabion's coach at High Park, Fabion's senior year. And we met just me coming back up to High Park, my alma mater, working out, him teaching me and showing me things. He was also the assistant coach at Chicago State. So all of this was being manifested before it even happened. And
God's time.
Yeah, he ended up being our assistant coach in Fresno, which is the reason I even took the opportunity to go out there. And then he ended up working some numbers to get John. And I just knew that year was going to be special just because I knew how special John was as a player. And, you know, us being from home, like, it was just somebody I could relate to and, you know, just dominate the court with. We both knew that this level was beneath us. So it was something that we knew we had to kill. For sure. We had to kill, you know, to even get, you know, that whatever type of respect we was looking for, validation. Like, this was a level we had to kill.
I feel like that was like the first time I started watching games on my phone. I'm watching the game, and you get that game winner. That's cracking. That's busting.
That's for everybody.
On me.
Yeah, that was tough.
Shit. Hey, when they drop this, we gonna have that picture up.
Got to.
My man.
Got to. Cool.
went
They
crazy.
got the video out there. I watch it at least once a year just to relive that memory, man. That was one of my only game winners, especially in college, and it was just dope, man. You know, to have that announcer screen. You know, the same thing we always used to watch Michael Jordan, Kobe. Those moments, man, you finally get your moment. You know, that was dope. It was dope.
You in D-Rose mode too.
For sure, the flow.
Brakes went up.
Definitely went high, sky high for sure. Had a terrible chest bump with my homie. At the end of it, y'all gonna see it. Oh man. But yeah, that was against a real tough opponent too, Dixie State. They're a Division I school now.
Oh wow.
For sure.
That's crazy. How was it? So that first year, how did that first year end for you guys? Like how was putting two powerhouse individuals together? You can rebound, assist, can score the ball at all three levels. John Taylor can assist, can go get a 50 ball whenever he wants to. Like, how did you guys end that season? Like, how was that season for you guys?
That season was real good, man. At first, we couldn't really put together consecutive wins. We started out the year, we might win 2, lose 1, win, lose, win, lose. We couldn't get a streak going. And almost midway through the season, we had one time, I think we went to Azusa Pacific and got blew out. And when we came back, Coach, we had our practice. We didn't even touch a ball. Coach just talked to us, about, wanting more. We just had a real heart-to-heart speech. And then I think we won like the next 13 or 14. And ended that year with a 20-win season, which is tough in college to finish with 20 wins. Even the best teams sometimes. I think that UConn team before they went to the tournament, they had probably like 17 wins. So it's like for us to be going to the tournament with 20 wins, it was real special. That year was special for me and John statistically. I had recorded a few triple doubles. He recorded a few 50-point games. It was just crazy. It was just because the team knew who we were and they trusted us. It wasn't any type of egos or hating. It was just get the ball to Malcolm and John. And they're gonna take us there. So it was fun to be relied on like that again after 2 years of not knowing what was going on in Toledo. That was dope. And then we end up finishing that year like 21-9, 22-9. We end up losing in the Final Four of our respected playoff that we had. The games was in like White, Indiana, so it was close to home. So I had a lot of friends and family there. It was dope. I mean, I wish we could have won that championship, but it really solidified our year that we came to do what we had to do, and to make it to at least the Final Four in our first year together with 12 new guys. Like, that was very remarkable and a special year for sure.
Man. So transitioning, from that loss, how did you guys go, to your senior year? You guys both statistically ended in a lot of the categories, top 10 in the school's history.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. Yeah, like how was the senior year for you guys? Like, I know it's your last hoorah. What was your mindset going into that season? Like, you killed the league. What was your transition and what was that mindset like for you guys going into that senior year?
Going to that senior year, John had left.
Mm-hmm.
John had left school to go to enter his name in the pros early.
Okay.
So my biggest thing with me was just having the same type of effect that I had the year before, if not more. If I could at least cover half his part and still do my part, which was a heavy load. But at that age, 19, 20, egotistically, you're thinking like, that you can carry all of that. So, it was something I was looking forward to. I had one of the best training summers of my career. That was around the time I first started learning how to work hard when I got to California. So that being the second summer that I had was starting, that my work ethic was up to par. Like, I knew coming into that season I would be ready. I just think Coach kind of was Coach was kind of chilled, kind of laid back on recruiting that summer. We didn't have, the same type of caliber guys. All great guys. We still got a group chat to this day we talk in, and we left each other more than 10 years ago. So, like, all great guys, but as far as, basketball, it just wasn't the right group of collective guys together. I think we ended the season with maybe like 7 players just because of people flunking off with the grades or people just not feeling the new coaching staff. We had a whole new coaching staff. So, it was difficult for, some people, you know what I'm saying? They didn't come from the culture that we had created. So, them coming in, they kind of threw things off. Yeah, a couple of them didn't even make it past the semester to start playing with us in January. Wow. We literally finished the season with 8 players due to injuries and just people having the grades not up to par or people just quitting the team. We had a couple people just take their bags and just literally just quit the team that year. So it was definitely a rocky year. We didn't have nowhere near the success we did our junior year. But, individually, like, I had a great year. I led the conference in pretty much everything except rebounds. I killed that year. Second year All-American. Like, I did everything, that I could, what I'm saying? But, as a team, like, we didn't do that well. And
everything but pass yourself the ball. Huh?
Yeah, like, the times rebound and pass myself the ball, man. I was doing everything, man. It was a fun, like I say, I got my career high that year. I scored 40 on the team in Alaska. It was a dope year, but like just because of the teammates and the camaraderie. But like, I wish we could have won more because that was a fun team to be around for sure.
Okay, for sure, definitely. So fast forward into like after you know what I'm saying, you got to go come back to the career. Mm-hmm. How was that transition going from like that to thinking about what's your next adventure gonna be? You feel me?
So at the time, we my coach, who was my coach my junior year, the assistant coach Dexter Young, who I told you was Fabion's coach. Right. His brother is a Hyde Park legend as well. He graduated from Hyde Park in I think like '91. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen the unguarded 30 for 30 with Chris Herron. Yeah. The guy went to Fresno State, used to be on the drugs and stuff before the game, but was killing. So Dexter Young, my old coach, his brother, Dominic Young, went to Hyde Park, graduated in '91. He went to Fresno State and played with that guy. Oh, wow. Rayford Alston, Melvin Eli, they all played together. That's what's up. And he never moved back to Chicago. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's where his home was now, in Fresno. And that was a guy that, took care of us off the court, made sure we had food. If we were college kids. So if we had food, we want to struggle. We want to take a girl out of something. Can I see your car? Anything. Like, he was just a helping hand. Yeah, he was just like a real big brother for us. And he had his connections. So, of course, like, I was going to, ride his coattail and see, if his connections could help me get into the league. And, after just coming to realization like that I was coming from Division II, seeing how the year before went with John, everything didn't go how he wanted to. Yeah. I knew that going overseas was going to be a realistic possible situation. Okay. So I started to focus on that.
Because the crazy part about it is a lot of people didn't know about you can do overseas until we saw you like, oh, damn,
oh, damn,
good shit.
Yeah, and I wasn't even sure how I was even gonna get into that market, but obviously it's like a database where agents can see that people who are seniors or people who are not returning to college next year, and then at this point, social media was a thing now, so it was nothing for an agent to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Yo, I want to represent you and like, let's meet up, let's have a talk on the phone, And then from that point, I just end up picking, figuring out, through talks with agents, figuring out who I wanted to go with to further my career, and end up signing with Mario Scotti my first year, 2 Points Agency. They had players like Rashard McCants and Daniel Hackett, who's a EuroLeague household name. They had those guys on their roster, so I felt like it was safe for me to sign with them, and to get my journey started going overseas.
You became my favorite player to see you turn it on like that. Saw you running in the street, riding your bike every day, going to the gym on 71st, and just turning that shit around was just like, damn, that shit was raw as hell. Like good shit. Like I always when I get a chance to interview you, I'm like, I always want to give you your flowers to
I appreciate that.
keep turning it on.
Most definitely.
That shit ain't easy.
Yeah, like I had told you, man, my work ethic was so poor coming up just because it wasn't part of our culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we was getting our game, going to the parks and trying things out. We was getting our shape off of, just playing it around the neighborhood. Like that's how you was getting in shape. Any other ways, but wasn't nobody hitting the track. Nobody was hitting the stairs. My stepdad at the time, he played football, so he had somewhat type of work ethic in him. Right. But, me and him had a constant battle because I fought with him about that. I clashed with him sometimes just being young and not, being ignorant to the fact that this is going to help me get better. You know what I'm saying? So,
and then you want to beat your peers.
Beat
your peers, you ain't care about nothing else.
Exactly.
What I'm working out for? I beat Tony at Rainbow. I'm good.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? At some point, the respect and the praise from your neighborhood was enough for you. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that if I wanted to get to these other places, that I would need to, impress other people. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And to impress other people, you got to be in shape. You got to, be the best version of yourself. So, like I said, I just learned about that, just going through the years, man, growing up and finally getting into that culture where working out was a thing. And now I could, adapt to this new culture and like you said, I would record myself running my miles every morning or doing my workouts.
As you can see, I ain't do that shit, but I watch it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I basically pretty much documented, my first summer before I went overseas, and the feedback I was getting from, literally I was getting that type of feedback at that time as well. I just seeing the results working, it just kept me. It just had making me kept going, kept going.
You practice on us at Rainbow and shit. See how he do his peoples, man. Oh my anytime this man was at the gym, come on, G.
Hey, you're not from East, man. You at Rainbow, man.
Yeah, you're on Rainbow, man. I don't care where you at. The little rims, the regular rims, the gym. Right. You gotta have some stories there. You ain't really from the East.
But I gotta ask you this question though. Motherfuckers want me to ask you this. Which court better, Rainbow or Arkansas though?
That's tough.
I'm gonna be biased and say Arkansas. Arkansas, that was my first job. That was my first.
Nigga E was gonna get in his ass if he ain't say Arkansas.
That was my first park. That was the first park I actually ever played at, and being around the corner from my house. I didn't really go to Rainbow until I was able to ride that far from my house with my bike. If we went up there, as a family and stuff, my mom, she would take us up there when it was, cool for the adults to hang out at night. The courts was pretty much dead, so I'm over there shooting by myself. But as I got older, started to appreciate Rainbow. There was a lot of good talent that came through there. But just growing up at Arkansas, meeting Trash at Arkansas, running into Tim Hardaway a couple times up there. Those memories. Me getting my first. We used to have this thing called Old School Sundays, so all the older guys hooped in. I was able to play out there on Old School Sunday in the prime hours at 13, 14. So it was like the fact that that's kind of why, kind of got some of my grit and my game from, and some of my fondest memories. I probably would say Arkansas for sure. Man. For sure.
Shout out to Arkansas.
Shout out to Arkansas, man.
When I moved down there and I first went on that court, I'm like,
you was on Yates, right?
Oglesby.
August.
Yeah,
Facts. Block off there.
Yep.
Like 85th, right? By Coles. We stay right by Coles.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
That shit was busting, man. I'm like, man, it's a whole nother court, G.
Yeah,
This is a different court, G.
Like you had to run. You had the one court. That was the thing too. It was like one court. So it was like if you weren't on this court,
you ain't no shit.
You can go to that one court, play you a varsity or warm up or something. Right. But you ain't on this court. Hey, you gotta wait. So that's why I said like the fact that I was able to respectfully get on that court at 13, 14, like it meant a lot. It meant more to me for sure.
Man.
Shout out to Rainbow though. I ain't gonna lie.
Shout out Rainbow.
Hell yeah.
So in the words of one of the big homies, G, Lil G, your game is like a LeBron Jordan.
Right.
You LeBron Jordan Pippen. Yeah, so how did your game fit overseas?
Well, I was always since I had came into high school, I was always a coachable guy. Like I said, if my granddad would have coached me in high school, there's no telling how my attitude as a player, the coach would have been. Because I would have just been, this is my granddad, you know what I'm saying? This is my coach. Like, I'm not looking at it as coach player. I'm looking at it as, my granddad and his grandson, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that I had to go through a couple hard-nosed coaches before I got to the next level of even going overseas. So I had Bailey freshman year. My coach sophomore year was a little more lenient, but my junior, senior year, DK, he was tough. So that's 3 tough years out of 4 where you got somebody really on your back. And then in college, of course, like, on any level, like in college, like it's going to be tough. So, just being able to be coachable really helped because once you're being coachable, you can adapt to anything. So, I wasn't like too flashy or did nothing that wasn't in my repertoire or my bag. So, everything that I would do would be something that would, put our team in a good position. And it was respected by my my coaches and my teammates over there, especially going straight to Morocco, a country that wasn't really that resourceful at the time when it came to basketball. It was easy to just go over there and just be dominant, have the best way I could and just ride that wave, you know what I'm saying? I just came out there and imposed my will with my strength and, my knowledge of the game, made sure I kept my teammates involved, because that's one of the biggest things to staying over there, You coming over there to their country, they got local players that they need to eat. They need you to find a healthy balance with getting getting what you getting off, but you got to have them eating too. Could never really be, too much of either because, you try to give them too much. I'm passing, giving everybody the ball, and it's like, all right, but you're not scoring.
Right.
And if you're doing too much scoring, it's like, all right, they're not happy. Right. So you just got to keep finding out early to keep a balance between that really helped me, extend my years over there.
How was that? So how was it a shell shock? Like that first year being overseas, how was it for you?
Yeah, that first year was definitely it was like a culture shock for sure. First of all, being my first time out of the country, like now I'm not with anybody I know. So at least when I left Chicago, I was now with John and coaches that I know. But now I'm all across the world in Morocco, damn near a third world country, and like don't know nobody. Never been over here, don't know nothing. I had a cool teammate though that was from the States, Elijah Pittman. He went to Marshall University, same college as Randy Moss. Okay. In Virginia. Just being able to relate with somebody that kind of made things a little easier, but the culture as far as they were pigging, they were skinning pigs when I first got over there, skinning pigs and sheep, some traditional thing that they do. And like literally, like you walk into the store and people walking past you, like with the sheepskin on on the board walking, walking. And I was just like, wow, like a lot of stray dogs. Like we see cats, we see stray cats in America and stuff, but lots of stray dogs, lots of stray dogs. Like stray dogs is walking around literally like how cats walk around.
And not even on
not on nothing. They not trying to bite or be harmful or nothing. It's just like really stray dogs, like real. It's really like it was really shocking because like the way we see cats is the way I was seeing dogs, bro. So it was like it was wild. So
motherfucker be running that all the time.
Yeah, so stuff like that. We had the taxi everywhere. Everything. Taxis really. You can really, if I can describe this to a Chicago person, you can go from like Bronzeville to like River North for like $2. Like it was very cheap country. You know what I'm saying? Like it was very affordable. So like, I got to save my little money that I did make over there at first. But it was like, it was just being a new thing, like culture-wise, man. It just really was different.
Eating pasta and shit all the time.
Yeah, I was trying to, like, when I first got to Morocco, I found a couple places that was kind of Americanized. So, that was my go-to places for food. And then every Friday they had couscous. That's like a famous Moroccan dish. Okay. Every Friday they had couscous. So I would make sure that was something I ate every Friday. I had a real schedule.
What was in the couscous?
It's like
grains.
It's like grains. They had chicken, like olives. It was real good though, man. Like it was I haven't tasted couscous since I left Morocco because that's the home of it. Like, and I kind of pretty much kept that stigma up throughout my career. Like if it was something that was the main dish there, like that I could eat anywhere else, I would only eat it there just because, like that was like the home of it. So couscous and, the Americanized places, pizza, of course, pasta. Right. Just figuring it out. I cooked sometimes.
Went on time Fiesta though.
Nah, you ain't finding that. Even in Italy, you ain't finding no Italian Fiesta. That's the home of pizza. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, amazing.
My favorite clip from you, when you stole the ball and you cocked that bitch back and dunked that motherfucker and looked at the camera. I'm like, he made it, G. That's video game. Everybody want to do that, G.
It's crazy though. I know that video you talking about. I was actually playing for a Greek team, but we played Israel. We played a team in Israel, Jerusalem. Amari Stoudemire was on that team at the time. But at that time, my uncle had passed like maybe 2 months before that game. And it was actually exactly 2 months before that game. My uncle had passed. And at this time when he passed, like, I don't feel like they were really rocking with me like that, the team. And it was early in the year, so it's like usually when a team not really rocking with you that early, like by November, you're going to get shipped out.
Right.
So when my uncle passed, I was emotional and I asked, to ask the team if I could go home, because I think we had like a week off. So I could have went home for a few days, be around the family. It was a real tough time. This was like one of my favorite uncles, and they didn't let me go. So, like, I knew I wasn't naive thinking like that was supposed to happen, that they were supposed to let me go. I know that you only get certain times that you be able to get released to, go. And then it not being like immediate family, like a mom or a brother or something like that. Like they wouldn't approve of that. Right. But, I was still, emotional about it. And I don't know, I think it maybe affected my attitude or my play. And they end up telling me because people really don't go home for Thanksgiving in Europe. But they let me go home simply because we had the time off, and they didn't let me go home the month before. So it was kind of like all right, we're going to make up for it. We're going to let you go now. Right. But at the same time, I'm not knowing. When I get home, I think they let me go home for like 3 or 4 days. On my second day home, I get a call from my agent saying, yeah, man, just prepare. Like they looking to move you around when you get back. So I'm like, damn, do I even want to go back? Right. I mean, of course I gotta go back, but I'm like in my mind, like, wow, like. So I'm just like, like it is what it is. Like, man, it is what it is. Like, hey, whatever. So I get back to the team, and like, I know the team knows, but nobody's saying nothing. But this is the first time in this situation, so I really don't know how to approach this. Right. So when I come back, I'm real like on defense. I'm real just defensive. Like I'm not really joking how I usually do. Mm-hmm. I'm just really going through the workouts hard. I'm doing everything I gotta do, and actually end up start talking to a team in Israel. At the time, Nessiona. We were gonna play. We were on the schedule to play Amar Stoudemire's team later that weekend, but we had a game earlier that week. So I'm like, all right, like at this point, if y'all gonna release me, I'm finna play how I wanna play. I'm finna do me.
Go crazy.
So when we played a rival team. I was out there being myself, like Shank at Rainbow. And I was killing, and we won that game. Kane, they really wanted to win. So now the next game is coming. We about to play the Jerusalem team. And the team from Israel was hearing about the talks of me being released, and they was like, hey, we want you to come sign here. When you come play in Israel, you can bring your things and just stay here. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to, I'm like, I don't know how that's going to work.
They don't worry about it.
And it's like, I'm like, all right, so I'm just like, now, like I'm saying, like I'm playing freely. Like I feel like y'all going to release me anyway. So I'm about to do me. And I remember that night, I don't even know why. I don't know why, y'all, but I was watching Macho Man Randy Savage videos the whole day. Like, we had the game. The game was probably at like 6 that night. Like, I don't know. I just kept like watching his videos, like ramping myself up. And I was never even a Macho. Right. I wasn't a Randy Savage fan growing up. Right, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I can't remember what drew me to this, but I just kept watching his videos. I even posted on my story, like, cup of coffee. Like, take everything with a cup of coffee. And I don't know, bro. Like, just that night, I just went to that shit like, y'all finna release me? Y'all finna release me because I'm playing how I want to play.
Savage mode.
And went off on them dudes, man. I think I had like 25 and 7 that game. And that last dunk. So in that league, in all leagues, what we see now, like if you got a lead, the team, if you finna win the game already, the team will get pissed off if you're still trying to score. Yeah. Cause it's like, all right, bro, you already won. You try to throw salt on the wound. Right. But in that league, it was a point differential thing. So like every game you had to try to like how the in-season tournament was. Yeah. Like you got to get the point difference because it might come to a time where y'all tied up and y'all beat them by 11. They only won by 9. Y'all get the edge. You know what I'm saying? So on that play, like we was already up probably like 9 points on that play you talking about. We was probably up like 9 points already. And like they was just trying to run the ball out and I'm still trying to. So I stole the ball and that's when I dunked it. And then I just looked at the camera like, who y'all finna release? Right. You know, it was one of them. Who y'all releasing? And literally after that day, like I was looking forward to going to the other team. They shut all that talk down. Exactly. I ended up playing that for the rest of the season. So like that's that highlight definitely always got to be told with that story because it was definitely a reason why I did that. For sure.
For real. Man. So let's talk. You had a long career overseas. Let's talk retirement. We saw. You just recently got. Your flowers. From Hyde Park. You got your jersey retired at Hyde Park. That's legendary.
Yeah, sure.
That's some legendary stuff right there.
For sure.
How is retirement for Shank? What does retirement look like for you?
Well, I mean, to everybody else, it's something new. But to me, I've been home pretty much the last 2 years. After I had my son, man, life just started life. And my mother-in-law passed when my son was like 6 months old. And then, taking that time off to console my wife and my family. I didn't go right to play that year, so I ended up going to play, and I took a job in Poland, in December of 2022, and when I got to Poland, they told me that I had a regular heartbeat, and it was something that I do remember hearing, like when I was in college, but it wasn't nothing detrimental to my health or nothing like that. But for some reason, it just kept popping up on this physical in Poland.
Oh wow!
And they end up, sending me back to the crib, sending me, my wife, and my son, all 7 of our bags, sent us back home. And that right there started to put doubt in my mind, like, man, is this gonna haunt me for the rest of my career? Yeah. And then 2 months later, I ended up going to a team in Romania that had more time to figure out the problem. And they figured it out. God forbid they figured it out that it wasn't, like, I knew nothing was wrong with me. Like, right. I could never tell you I had any problems, but this is what they keep seeing on the thing. So in order to clear me, they gotta have they gotta have some type of final answer. Right. And we ended up waiting, like, when we was out there, the league was on a 2-week break, so now I had more time to figure it out. When I was in Poland, they had a game that weekend. They had to figure something out fast, so that's why they sent me back home. So in this time of trying to figure it out in Romania, we end up figuring it out, and they end up clearing me. And I get cleared. Now I got 8 games to, show for something for the next year. I haven't played all year. Now I got 8 games that I can put on film. Take you 2 games to get in game shape, with practice and, game shape, whatever. I finally started playing, and then in like the 6th or 7th game, I ripped my groin. So I never really got, like, that year was almost like another wasted year, you know what I'm saying? And then, just getting into the habits of doing everyday life with my son and my wife, it just got tough for me to, gather it all up and go back overseas, and because I take them with me. It would have been easier for me to just go, but then now I'm being over there without them. It just was gonna throw everything off. So after sitting out this past year, actually starting to brainstorm on life after basketball, when I came up with some scenarios that I like for me to get into, I start, day by day start to embrace the reality of, it's being the end. And it's not the end, like I'm just gonna be away from the game. I'm still planning on coaching. I still plan on being a philanthropist of some sort to, the next upcoming generation, whether they from on the east side of Chicago or High Park students, whatever. Like, any way I can help. Like, I still want to be around the game, but just, giving my all to the game. And people just think it's just you going out there playing basketball, but you gotta prep your mindset. Man. You gotta prep your body. You gotta actually be, really one to love to do everything that comes with it. And like you always hear the infamous saying, and once I'm done having fun with it, I'm done with it. Man. You know what I'm saying? I still love basketball, but the seriousness that comes with it and the preparation that takes a lot of focus and just so much with your body and so much sacrifice. I feel like I sacrificed my whole life for this game. And now that I got my own family, it's like, I don't want to sacrifice no more. I want to live my life and, be happy with my family and see my grandma and my granddad every day, or pull up on them when I want to. Like, they never came to a game. Shit. Yeah, they never came to a game overseas just because, of it not being able to fit their schedules, or my granddad is fear of flying. So the fact that I could still, take care of my family and be around all of my family, like, that's really all I ever wanted, was to just, like, I feel like I already won at life. Us being from the same, neighborhoods and the same areas of the city, like, how tough it is for us to even be still here sitting here having this conversation now. Man. So for me to, be able to make money doing something that we all grew up doing just because we love to do it, and, you know, making a name for myself in my city and making a name for myself overseas and making my family and my mom and my, you know, my cousins, everybody proud for them seeing me, you know, become some off a game that we literally just played just to have fun,
man,
you know,
man.
like for me to take care of my family for 10 years off of that and be able to take my knowledge and further it more for kids the next 50 years, like I feel like I can't really complain about, you know, about nothing. Like pretty much won that life. We all won that life.
Yeah.
We sitting here together talking about reflecting on everything. But the fact that I just, you know, got to this point without having to have a 9 to 5.
Man.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5.
It's
Just the fact that I got to play a sport. You know what I'm saying? Something that we always wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I got lucky enough, you know, to be graced by God to, you know, have the talent and have the wisdom. Because I hung with some of the killers, the street killers that's either no longer here or in jail or to change their life around. I could have easily just been a product of that, you know.
Sure.
So I always give myself credit too, as well as my mom, for, you know, steering me in these right directions. But at the same time, you still got to make the decisions yourself when you out in them streets, because you can be easily influenced, and you know, one wrong turn can change your whole life. And I'm just happy and fortunate that I always had good people around me that either steer me away from those decisions or just, you know, never put me in those type of situations around them.
Right.
So like, I mean, like,
Just
I can't
basketball
really,
itself though helped everything.
yeah, basketball, just staying in that gym or staying on that court, us playing basketball 9 hours out the day, ain't nothing. I mean, you only get, you know what I'm saying? The other few hours, for sure, at that age, we talking to girls, and the other hours we sleeping. So it's like, I mean, that's what took up our time. And, you know, when people started to lose, you know, people got older and it's like, all right, playing basketball all day not going to do nothing for me. So, like, people had, you know, people lives started changing. Mm-hmm. Like, now you got more time to get into some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I always was embedded to just, you know, be hoop. Like, it kept me out of a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? It got me sitting here at this couch with y'all right now. And like I say, man, we be blessed for sure.
And we looking forward to see you fatherhood and you know what I'm saying, your extra, you know what, you know, everything else you got going on. Any shout outs you got, you know, before we get up out of here?
Man, I just want to shout out all my friends and family, all my supporters throughout my career, all my coaches, you know, that helped me build character, you know, about a discipline that was instilled. You know, my mom for sure, number one, before everybody when it comes to that. And I just want to thank you guys for having me out today. This was fun.
Appreciate it.
Love what y'all doing. You know, we all trying to step into a new lane of life. You know what I'm saying? I got my black truck service coming soon. So keep a lookout on that. But
Of course.
you know, I just yeah, man, I just want to give love to everybody that love me. You know what I'm saying?
I want to make a special shout out to you too for, you know what I'm saying, talking to me when I was down and out. You know what I'm saying? I was going through my surgery and shit. I appreciate your look, you know, your comments and, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Sure, man. Sure. That was a tough thing to witness, man. One of my peers, one of my homies from the east side, you know, going through the physical barriers of, you know, what you had, a brain surgery?
Hell no, heart.
A heart, right, heart. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I thought about you a lot when I was going through my whole thing with them telling me there was something wrong with mine. You know what I'm saying? I thought about you a lot and going through that process. So it's like I say, we all blessed in some way. I'm just glad to still have you here. You know, still being your genuine, funny self.
You already know.
And you know, just man, we still here, bro. We breathing. We still telling these stories. We still laugh. We taking care of our families. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't really. It's a lot of people that kill all of us to have our lives, regardless of what, you know, what type of troubles or endeavors we going through, or, you know what I'm saying, somebody will die to have our lives. So, man, we just got to always remember to just be grateful about everything. And, you know, take everything with a grain of salt, man, bro. For sure.
Man, another great episode, y'all. Can't wait till this boy drop. Shout out to my boy Mike. You feel me?
Man, you
There's
already
gonna be
know.
way more episodes like this, though.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having me, though, y'all. Appreciate y'all, bro. So definitely was nice. Yo, you got your boy Shank in here. James acting up, sitting on the couch, man, chopping it up, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You won't regret it. Let's get it.